There have been a few questions about this particular tool, simply referred to as a filing vise in most cases. I've probably seen some other names for it, but most people know it by the name filing vise. And it just inserts in your post vise and provides a nice place to hold parts at a specific angle. If you're trying to file a bevel, you can get them all the same by simply filing horizontal on the piece. You can get a very nice predictable bevel every time. But it also is useful if you're trying to file a profile. Instead of getting your head down and having to look like this to see the profile of the piece you're filing, you can just put it in the filing vise and then file at 90 degrees to the edge of the piece like this, and you can see what you're doing, and you don't have to squat down or crank your neck around. And if you put a piece of white paper or cardboard or something down here on the bench, you have a nice contrasting surface to see what you're doing. So these are a very useful thing. I have a couple of these, and they usually hang up here, and this is where somebody had seen them in the video and had asked a question. So let's take a little bit closer look at exactly what they are, how they work, and talk about where these came from. Both of these have an angle of about 45 degrees on them. The angle can vary, and I wouldn't mind having some with differing angles for differing purposes, and someday I'm going to make some more. And the key word there is make, not buy. This nicer one is 5 inches tall overall and 1 inch wide. And this is one that was made by a friend, or two friends actually. My wife, myself, and this one friend, the member of the Rocky Mountain Smiths, all went to the John C. Campbell Folk School to take a class with Ernie Dorrell. Clay Spencer was co-teaching that class, or assisting Ernie with the class, because they're good friends. And one of them had a vise like this. I think it was Clay's. I don't think it was Ernie's. But the friend that was with us made some very detailed measurements and a sketch of this. And when we got home, he collaborated with another friend who happened to own a water jet cutting service. So the pieces were cut out on a water jet machine. And then friend number one, who had been at the class with us, is a pretty accomplished machinist as well as a blacksmith. And he did all the fitting of the joints and made this all work and put it together. And between the two of them, they only made 3 or 4 of these things. And that was a one-time deal. If you want one, you're going to have to make it yourself. I don't think anything exactly like this is available out there on the market. But this is certainly my favorite. It is nice, it is elegant, it has clean lines. This stuff is all just decorative, but it just really makes it a nice tool to use. It's really special. The other one I bought from Kane & Sons. Now they go by Blacksmith Depot. And this one looks to be about 5 inches tall as well. It's only 3/4 inches thick. It's cast aluminum. And I don't think they sell these anymore. Kane & Sons is now Blacksmith Depot. But the last time I looked, I could not find these on their website. Somebody might be selling one. There's a number 125 on there, but I don't see a manufacturer's name anywhere cast into this. So I don't know if that particular filing vise is still available out there. The first place I ever saw one of these was in the Blacksmith Cookbook by Francis Whitaker. And I've seen the one that he used in his shop when I've been in there. It's a little bit simpler. It just has a half-lap style joint down here. It does have a spring riveted in so it opens. Otherwise they can fall out of the vise when you release the pressure if they don't stay open to keep this hook engaged. And at some point we're going to make one of these. I don't know that I'm certainly not going to get it done today. I just wanted to explain what this was because there were some questions. But we will take a look closer and try to make a filing vise very similar to this, and I've got some ideas for some other ways to do one that would provide some options depending on what equipment you happen to have in the shop. We'll probably fabricate one, we'll make one very similar to this, and I've got some other ideas as well. Now I know that's sort of a little tease to introduce you to the concept and not actually show you how to make one, but I want to do a little bit more research, and part of that research is that tomorrow I will be going to another Rocky Mountain Smith's workshop. We do this about once a month, so I go as often as I can get away from the shop. I go to one, and this will be at Living Design Studios in Erie, Colorado, and James Makeley will be demonstrating vise tools. I don't know exactly what he's demonstrating, but it would not surprise me in the least if he talks about this, and I may get some new ideas on how his filing vise is made if this is one of the tools he discusses. So I thought I'd wait and have that experience before I talked about it anymore, just in case I can learn a little bit more that I can then bring back and share with you. But there's also some other ideas online. It would be worth searching. I don't think you can find one of these for sale. It seems like I've looked, but there might be out there. There might be somebody making small runs similar to this in a local group. You might be able to, I hope it didn't get too dark. My last light just went out there, the video light. So it's a little shadowier than it was before. Anyways, somebody might be making something like this. These cast ones might still be available out there, but I haven't been able to locate them. I'll look again before I post this video and include a link if I've been able to find one. But mostly you need to make one. They really wouldn't be that difficult to make. A very simple one. One in the Francis Whitaker cookbook probably won't take more than a couple hours. Doing one this nice and this fancy might be an all-day project. And it probably will have more of a hand-forged look than this one that was water jet cut. So it just depends on what you're going for. But they would all be very useful. And that is the important thing, is to make it useful and functional. When it comes to blacksmithing tools, I like good-looking tools, I like elegant tools, but function is the first priority, so we're going to look at that. So after I do some research, after I go to James's workshop tomorrow, then I'll do a video on how to make a filing vise, and I'll put whatever I've learned into that and hopefully share that with you. In the meantime, try to get out to the shop, make something, and if you got a filing vise, share a picture with me so I see how your filing vise looks. I think that'd be cool to see some other people's little filing vises. But stay safe, wear your safety glasses, and we'll see you for the next one.